Hello, my name is Micah. Today I'm going to show you how to set up a contact profile update form that allows your contacts to update their contact information via email, which will automatically update your CRM. This is by far one of the most cost-effective and efficient ways to get accurate, up-to-date contact information into your CRM. I'll give you some background information about me first. I'm a CRM consultant at Cloud Referrals, serving new and existing Insightly CRM users. I've been a member of the Insightly community for over 2 years, becoming one of the first Insightly heroes, Insightly authorized partners, and playing a valuable role in the community by solving support requests, giving feedback on beta features, and developing best practices for Insightly. You can connect with me via email at micah@cloudreferrals.com, my website at www.cloudreferrals.com, or you can search me on LinkedIn and connect. Let's begin. This is our process. Step 1, we start with the CRM, send any fields we need updated to MailChimp. Step 2, we send our contacts the update profile form link. Step 3, the contact receives the email, reviews their contact details, and has the option to update their contact details or emailing preferences. Step 4, every time a new contact is updated in MailChimp, Zapier will find the matching record in your CRM and update the contact record details. There's other software like Zapier and MailChimp that may be able to replicate what we'll show you today, like PySync, Automate.io, or Constant Contact, for example. But today we'll just be focusing on Zapier and MailChimp. So let's give you a little sneak peek of what this looks like in action. So let's say John, our contact, receives our email from MailChimp. So the email is requesting John to update his info and conveniently displays his information in the body of the email. This way, John can quickly verify his information, and if John finds something incorrect or missing, he has a link below to update his contact details and preferences. And hey, if you don't want to send emails like this, that's okay. You can use this process for all of your email campaigns. The update your preferences link at the very bottom of the page here, which comes with every email, goes to the same exact page. So let's update our details. Say Jonathan, and then we'll say it's just give it a random phone number. And this one here. Okay, street. Let's update the street name. So he lives in Phoenix, Arizona, 538. And John prefers email over text message. He doesn't want the discounts, but he wants the quarterly newsletter, and he wants to stay subscribed. So update profile. So let's go to our CRM, see the updates. So this is John's current profile before the update. And if we click the refresh button, we should have different results. Give it a moment to load. Let's do a side-by-side comparison. So there you have it, Mr. Jonathan Doe. Got the new phone numbers, all in the correct fields, mailing address, and the communication preferences. Perfect. Okay, so let's go and review the software and plans we'll need to make this integration work. Okay. So with MailChimp, any plan you can choose, including the free plan, has the update profile link and option to customize the profile update form. If you need to integrate more than 30 fields or have over 2,000 subscribers, then you'll need to upgrade to the MailChimp Pro plan. Then we have Zapier. You can use any plan, the free plan too. However, you may need additional software or custom programming to get update capabilities on certain fields or other records like organizations or leads. For this video, we'll just be focusing on Zapier updating the CRM contact record. And finally, your CRM has to integrate with Zapier and include at least the update contact action function. So the update contact action function is this here. You can search your app in Zapier and find whether or not it has this function before proceeding. So you choose your CRM. So as you can see, it says choose action, which would be a second step, not the first one. And then you go to update action, or select your CRM action, and you look for create update action, update contact, or update lead, or update organization. Just depends on what your terminology is for your CRM and Zapier. Okay, so let's go back to our slideshow. I recommend all Insightly users who use email with their contacts need to have this. It's all free. Just takes a couple hours to set up the integration, and the return on your time investment is well worth the 1 or 2 hours. So let's go review the setup process. Step number 1, requirements. Define the required fields you need updated in your CRM. Step 2, development. Create a list in MailChimp and add custom fields to the list. Configure the contact profile update form to match with the list fields. You will also need the same exact predefined values if you have any in the CRM software. And finally, create an email template with the profile update link if you want to create one like shown here. Otherwise, all your emails will contain this update preferences link at the bottom. Okay, let's go back to our requirements setup process. So create a contact report consisting of all the required fields. Still on step 2, development. We'll need to export this report to a worksheet and format the data before we import the data into MailChimp. And finally, integrate MailChimp in your CRM with Zapier. Step 3, testing. Import the contact data in MailChimp and make sure all the data goes into the correct fields and has the correct values. Update a few subscribers from the MailChimp list for testing. Identify what values did not come through, any error codes Zapier sent us, etc. If we cannot get Zapier to update our CRM contact fields correctly, we have 2 options that involve reconfiguring the Zapier integration or reconfiguring our custom fields in the CRM software. If it won't work after we tried both options, then we may need to look at a different integration service or custom programming, which we will not be covering in today's video. When the results are satisfactory, move to step 4, documentation. Write down and record the contact report export and import processes. Describe what fields are integrated and what to do if you receive notifications from Zapier. For example, when we import more than 100 contacts, or what MailChimp calls subscribers, we'll receive a notification asking us if we want all the contacts to be updated in the CRM software. We'll ignore these Zapier notifications after importing our contacts or updating MailChimp because it's an update from the import and not from the contact. Or if the CRM or MailChimp app has a new Zapier update and there are more fields available to us and linking options, we will get a notification from Zapier. And when we get the notification, we can make a plan to pause the Zap, and update the integration. Or if there are other field changes in the CRM or contact profile update form, we can make a plan as to how we will manage these changes as well. This all comes in hand for the mailing process and maintaining the integration. Finally, the best part, step 5, deployment. Import your contacts, schedule the email, and wait for your contacts to update your CRM. Let's go to our CRM and start step number 1. Okay, so define our required fields. So for this example, we'll choose the prefix, the first name, the last name, the phone number, mobile phone, home phone, the mailing address, and all communication preferences. We'll also want to add the ID of the record too, in order for Zapier to scan the CRM system. And this will help Zapier find a match using the ID so it can update the correct record. So next we'll input our fields, our field names, field types, and drop-down values into MailChimp's list field settings. So let's split the screen for copying and pasting. Okay. So go to lists in MailChimp, find your list or create one, contact profile update form. Go to settings. Okay. So I'm gonna already have everything inputted. We'll talk about how I did this. So I have our contact here, Jonathan Doe. Okay. So where's the edit button? Okay, excuse me for a moment. Edit. There we go. Okay. So in Insightly, we have these as text fields, the prefix, the first name, the last name. The email is a text field, the phone's a text field. All the mailing addresses are essentially text fields except for this drop down here, and we'll talk more about that in a little bit. And then we have this drop down and check boxes. So as you can see, all I did is the email address, the first name, and the last name are all default fields. And then for the prefix, I just wrote that name in. The phone, the home phone, mobile phone, all as text fields. And then when we get down to the country field, if all our contacts are local, we could just add one country field. If you have international contacts and you want the address updated, then we may need all CRM country values in a MailChimp drop-down field, which is about 250 country names. And the drop-down choices are unlimited in MailChimp, so there's no issue there. And yes, that would be a cumbersome setup process to add one, input a country name, add one, input a country name for 250 values. The reason we do this is because not all software providers use the same country choices as MailChimp. MailChimp and Insightly have different names for United States, for example, and this can cause problems with the Zapier integration. So you can do a few things to get all the country names into a worksheet, which may be about 250 names. So go to your CRM's API help page, if they have one, and you can get the country values there if they have it available as a get option in the API. When I was doing testing, I used Flatly, and Flatly connects with several CRM systems to back up data and system settings in the form of flat files to most popular storage services like Google Drive. You can use the coupon code below to get 10% off your first month of subscription. And see, I just found the country here, and then it gave me all my country values in a spreadsheet. And then I can just copy and paste each one into the country options. And no, there's no way to import this. Everything has to be done manually when you set up the fields. Okay, and there's another option for getting all the country values. If you download a extension for your browser that lets you highlight maybe images and other types of objects on the web, you may be able to highlight and select all of these values, and then again get it into a spreadsheet and copy one by one into the country options. Okay, this works for some online applications, but I haven't been able to do it with Insightly. For the check, we'll need to be creative for some of the fields like this preferred method of contact. We use the drop down, and we had a drop down for it, which is good. But some of them, like the radio fields, we had to be creative and make the radio buttons function like a checkbox. So with a true or false value or yes or no value, which is easier to read from the subscriber's point of view. But when we do the integration, it'll function the same as a checkbox. Okay, and then lastly, we have the contact ID as a text box. And here in the middle, we have this required and visible settings. The first name needs to be required for Insightly. When you're adding contacts or updating contacts, always need to have the contact's first name. So we'll have it required. We'll have all the fields visible except for the contact ID. And the reason is because the subscriber does not need to see this information. It's irrelevant to them. It's just a unique identifier for Zapier to find the contact in Insightly or your CRM and update the record. And lastly, be sure to save your work often, as MailChimp will not autosave when you add multiple fields and values. So you don't want to lose all your work due to a surprise network failure, for example. So click Save Changes. Next, let's create our MailChimp email. So we go to the tabs here, and we can go to Campaigns. So we already have one created, just like our example we showed you in the beginning. Okay. So let's zoom in. Again, the update contact preferences has a unique URL here at the bottom. That is the same exact one here, like in this email design. We have the merge tags to show the contact what information we have on file. In order to create that, I'll just delete this here and then click here, merge tags. And this email template should be on the same campaign with the same list, and it'll show the tags here. And we'll just select prefix and do that for all of the field values. And then what we call the profile update link in MailChimp, if we're specifically requesting that they update their contact information, like in this email design, then we use the update profile merge link. So let me show you how I did that. In order to get this text hyperlinked with the unique URL, simply find the merge tag. So the merge tag it's under list links, update profile link. And you're going to copy this merge tag, cut it. Okay. And then we're going to highlight the text we want to link. And we click the hyperlink button. And then we paste the merge tag into the URL field. And that will give you the same unique URL as the update your preferences link here. So we're all done. Click save and exit. And just go back to list. Okay, next we create a report in the CRM. But before we do, let's add some sample data for testing. Exit. Okay, so we have our sample data already in the system. So next we go to reports, create a contact report, and then you can drag all the fields that are in the MailChimp list. Or here, you can use these field references. And you should have something that looks like this. And the contact ID as well at the end. Okay. And lastly, make sure there are no duplicates with the same email address before you export the report. MailChimp will automatically filter out duplicate email addresses. If you need help deduplicating records with your CRM, I recommend using Deduply. This software integrates with several CRM applications, providing custom duplication scans on identity-related fields like the email address and duplicate merging services. You can visit Deduply down below along with Flatly.io. Some good resources to have for your CRM. Okay. So next, export the report to a worksheet after you saved it. So export to CSV. So we'll get an email from Insightly, and just click the download report link. So I'm going to pause it real quick. So here we have our report with our sample data ready for formatting. So first we have to review the import subscribers to a list, the formatting guidelines for MailChimp. So prepare for import. So we have to have the right column names. And then see import, subscribed. We want to auto update a list. Okay. And then we can also have these requirements right here to help understand what values need to be available for certain field types. Okay. So I'll include links to these resources down below. For now, we can safely say that these drop-down values for the country and the preferred method of contact are both correct. Everything else is a text value, so that'll import just fine. And then we have these checkbox fields. So there's plenty of ways that we can automatically format our spreadsheet and have it ready for MailChimp. We're not going to go through that right now. Let's just quickly replace the false values with no and the true values with yes. Again, we're just trying to get the test successfully completed. And then you can format everything for mass production. Replace all, done. So next we convert it to a CSV file, download as CSV. We go to our lists in MailChimp, click on the list. Add contacts, import contacts, CSV, upload file, browse. We'll select the latest report, click open. Next. And then we'll want to match our columns. So phone, mobile, save, phone, home, home phone, street mail. May help to change these names, of course. And street, postcode. So it'll make it a lot easier when you do this a second time around. Okay. So that all looks good. Let's just double check all the rest of them. Okay, so they all look good, all match. We click next. Okay. Click subscribed. and then auto update my existing contacts. Be sure to comply with the regulations on email subscribers opt-in. Click import. Okay, so it says 4 contacts were updated or added to your list. Let's just toggle the columns to ensure that they all came through in the right fields. Always double check, especially when we're testing. Okay. So all these came out good. Streets. Jane Doe, okay. So it looks like everything came across good. It's time to build a Zapier integration. So we go to our Zap. So I'll show you how to get there. I went to dashboard, I'd make a Zap, and then I would create my Zap here. Label it contact profile update. Go to updated subscriber or your first trigger app, and you'd select MailChimp. For the second step, we would have updated subscriber for our trigger. Authorize your login credentials for MailChimp. Edit options. Select the list. Okay. And then you test the step to find a subscriber. So fetch and continue. Continue. For our action, we'll choose an action app. We'll select our CRM, Insightly. Update. For the Insightly action or the CRM action, you'll select update contact like we showed in the very beginning. Okay. Authenticate with the administrator's API key or another account that always has access to all contact records or has update capabilities to all contact records. It's important to note that typically the API key of the user's account will follow the same permission rules set in the CRM. And in this integration, nothing is coming out of your CRM. No data can be read. And there is no way a user in MailChimp or a subscriber in MailChimp could get access to all your CRM data, except the information you provide them in MailChimp. So that should address any security concerns you may have in that regard. Next, edit template options. We'll map our fields with the help of using the MailChimp list settings. So let's go to MailChimp. We'll go to settings, list field and merge tags. So I'll separate the two windows again for help with mapping. And we'll go back to our Zapier. Let's test this out. Okay, very good. And for the contact search step, it'll say search step right here. And when you enter in the value, you're going to select use a custom value. And then you're going to have another field emerge called custom value for contact ID. And you're going to click this option here. And you're going to search for the contact ID. And instead of MailChimp giving us the field label names, they give us the MailChimp ID or merge tag. And so we're going to select merge merge 16. So that gives us the contact ID. And we're going to do this for the first name, last name, salutation. Again, just select them all here. You'll have to map it, each one. Okay. And then just like we did for the custom value of the contact search step, we're going to do the same for the checkboxes. So the checkbox allows us to select a fixed option, a yes or no, but instead we have to use a custom value advanced down here. And then it'll again open up another field, and then you can select a field from MailChimp. Okay. Next, click continue. And we'll go forward with testing. So click finish. So the Zap is on, and we're going to go into MailChimp and update the sample subscriber data. So let's go to exit out of these, bring our MailChimp back in here. So if we edit these contacts from this view here and not from the contact's point of view, the subscriber's point of view, like we saw in the beginning, using this email here. So if I go to let's reconnect, update your information, and I click here. So updating my details here is going to be the exact is going to have the same exact result as updating my contact details here. So we'll go to Jane Doe. We'll update her details. Click edit subscriber details. Nope. Click edit. So we'll say Janie Lee. She's a Mrs. 101. And then select 702. We'll say it's Phoenix, Arizona. 53, wait. I'm from Arizona, by the way. And then we'll input a preferred method of contact, put email, select promotion, discounts, coordinated newsletter, and no. And then they won't be able to see the contact ID, just like in our form here, they won't be able to see the contact ID. It won't be visible to them. But again, we're just doing testing, so we're going to see what happens when we update these details. So let's go to MailChimp. All right, let's drag it over here so we can see the updated details and verify it alongside the details in our CRM record. So as you can see, the name just changed. Yep, the phone went across, the home phone, the mobile phone, new address, and the checkbox and the communication preferences field was complete. So it worked. Very good. We can test some more sample data as well, but this should be good enough for the demonstration. And we can also check the audit logs or the task history of Zapier. So I'd go to Zapier here, and then I could see the data out and the data in. So you can check both there. Okay. And we also notice that Zapier only replaces contact data. It does not add contact data. So this can be a potential problem because depending on your CRM or how you have your profile update form set up, you may only have a certain number of fields available. For example, when the contact goes to update their information and they only have one phone number field available, But let's say they have 2 phone numbers they need to share with you. That's a problem. In order to work around this issue of the contact having to choose between one contact field to fill out for a phone number, email, address, you name it, we can create more of those fields. Therefore, the contact will have the opportunity to give you more information. And to create more custom fields, you may need to upgrade your CRM. Also, some CRMs, they might not be able to add those extra fields, or maybe it costs too much money to upgrade to the next plan. Whatever the reason is, we have a backup plan already in place. When we perform an export and backup our contact export, this allows us to retain version history before the contact records are updated by your contacts or subscribers. And also, we get the data correctly formatted into MailChimp while staying compliant with Zapier's one sync rule. So that's the pros and cons of the contact update function within Sightly and Zapier. The fundamental rules of Zapier contact update action may differ between other CRMs. So everything's working well. No need to reconfigure our CRM, the form, or the report. So we would document our integration, the data export and formatting process, the import process, and apply a procedure for ignoring the Zapier notification when importing more than 100 contacts. If importing under 100 records, turn off the zap and import your records. When the import is finished, turn back on the zap. And one last tip before we wrap up the setup tutorial: we don't need to have only one list for this feature. We can apply this list, or we can apply all our lists and use this integration for all MailChimp emails. But we'll need to make a copy of the Zapier integration and the MailChimp list for every list we want to integrate. So you can make copies including the settings by going here in MailChimp, going to lists, and you can simply copy the list. It should copy the settings. Whoops. Replicate list. Okay. And then you go to Zapier, go to Zaps, and make a copy. And when you make a copy, you'll want to rename it. Give it the list name as well, and then you'll need to select a new list in the first step here. So you select a new list there, and then you'll have to remap all of the field values from MailChimp to Insightly or your CRM. So I recommend creating this integration for all your lists, because then your contacts will always have the opportunity to give you the most up-to-date contact details by clicking in the change contact preferences and the link at the bottom of the MailChimp email. If you need further assistance with the setup, please connect with me and I'll help you with your integration. So again, you can find my contact details here and at the bottom of the video. One more update: there is a two-way integration available via PieSync, your CRM, and MailChimp, so you don't have to export and import your data. The thing is, they're going to update their software to include all default fields, linked organization records, and formatting options. But this update won't be available till sometime in 2018. When the update is released, I'll create a link to an updated video using PieSync instead of Zapier. And here's PieSync if you're wondering what the tool is used for. So this concludes the tutorial: CRM contact profile update form integration. If you saw a lot of value in the content and you want to see more like this in the future, then make a donation to my YouTube channel using the link below. Your donations are going to help fund me so I can invest more of my time creating high quality content. And subscribe to my channel too. Thank you for watching.